Star Trek Online.
We are fighting a war on multiple fronts. We have to consider the Borg, the Undine, and the Romulans, as well as the Klingons.
I see now my deception has been exposed. Starfleet has lost too many ships and too many good men and women to a fight we now know was caused by Iconian and Undine influence.
Is that...
An Iconian gateway? Yes, I believe it is.
Into the gateway, now!
Are all those markers Iconian gateways?
Sir, we've been scanning the gateway. The monitors on the bridge are all showing an Omega.
Welcome to the Delta Quadrant. We are within the Solanae Dyson Sphere, a spherical structure built around a star.
We now know why the sphere generates vast amounts of Omega particles. It is designed to use those particles as fuel to jump to any area of space.
It now appears that the Jenolan sphere had the same jump capabilities as the Solanae and moved to this location.
You're not Cooper.
We will repel the Undine and survive to warn the Alpha Quadrant of the renewed threat. The Undine are a threat to us all. I propose a summit. We must decide together what we must do to protect the Alpha Quadrant. Our disputes may need to be put aside in the face of a greater enemy.
And now, the continuation.
Welcome to the Delta Quadrant. I will admit that I did not expect to be here with Voyager again. It is agreeable. Thank you for agreeing to attend this conference and supporting my position on the Undine. However, reaching a consensus today will be difficult. Many different agendas will be represented here today. I will speak to you in person shortly. Tuvok out.
Welcome to the Jenolan Dyson Sphere. Please beam down to these coordinates.
Good to see you. I'd say you're right on time, but it looks like everyone else wants to be fashionably late. We're still finishing preparations for the conference, and Admiral Tuvok is already there. The Klingon and Romulan delegates will arrive soon, so we should head inside as soon as you're ready.
Thank you for joining us here. We need assistance with preparations for the conference. The Romulan and Klingon delegations are still in private deliberations, but other delegates are arriving. Several preliminary tasks remain before we can begin the presentation. Your support in this matter would be appreciated.
Where do you want me posted, sir?
Where do you want me posted, sir?
Where do you want me posted, sir?
This Cardassian thug is trying to push Bajor out of this conference. We have as much of a right to be represented here as any other world, more than the Cardassians. They're not even part of the Federation or the Klingon Empire.
I simply inquired about the ambassador's presence at the conference. After all, Bajor is a member of the Federation. Ambassador Sugihara is capable of representing them, along with the Deltans, Andorians, Vulcans, and everyone else, even the Tellarites, though I suspect they'd argue that point rather robustly. Indeed. One wonders how well that gateway would have fared if Deep Space Nine was of Bajoran manufacture, rather than Cardassian. The Federation's track record on wormhole security is far from ideal. One only needs to consider the multiple Dominion occupations of the station for proof of that point. Predictable response. Then again, it's certainly no secret where Federation loyalties lie in the Alpha Quadrant. I suppose expecting a more balanced approach was wishful thinking on my part. Accusations of Cardassian malfeasance aside, I would remind you both that we are here to seek a peaceful solution to the issues facing us all. Indeed. One wonders how well that gateway would have fared if Deep Space Nine was of Bajoran manufacture, rather than Cardassian. The Federation's track record on wormhole security is far from ideal. One only needs to consider the multiple Dominion occupations of the station for proof of that point.
The Federation has never made a policy of preventing member worlds from overseeing their own interests in conjunction with Federation efforts. Or is Bajor going to be treated differently than other member worlds?
Well said. Perhaps there's hope for this conference yet. I'm quite willing to put this disagreement behind us in the interest of the bigger picture.
The preliminary tasks are complete. You should speak with Admiral Tuvok again.
thank you for your assistance. Please take the opportunity to speak with the various delegates. Having an understanding of the positions of each representative will facilitate more effective negotiations.
The Zindi are here to support Admiral Tuvok's call for cooperation. We know what tragedies befall a people who are being manipulated by outsiders, as we once were. The Undine's lies and manipulation remind us of the Sphere Builders, whose deceptions led us to make one of the greatest mistakes in our history. There are 5 races on my world. We all know reaching a consensus can be difficult, but the Zindi are living proof that if we put aside animosity, our differences can make us stronger.
The Federation's position is quite clear. We believe the only way to safeguard the future of the Alpha and Beta Quadrants is for all the galactic powers to behave as reasonable entities and work together to oppose those who would threaten our worlds. It doesn't matter if that threat comes from the Undine, the Borg, or the Iconians. The response is the same.
I sincerely hope that the Federation is not wasting our time here. If your presentation is to explain the threat posed by the Undine, let me spare you the effort. The Klingon Empire has been aware of this threat for quite some time now.
Thank you for the invitation. Starfleet certainly knows how to organize their meetings on a grand scale. I trust that the Republic will be able to take a leadership role in studying this sphere. The extensive knowledge we've gained from the Solanae sphere should give us an advantage here. And, after all, the gateway that leads to both of these spheres is in Republic space. Yes, the Undine. Very interesting. My security advisors have been looking over the data, and we are all very curious to hear what you and Admiral Tuvok have to say on the matter.
You've spoken with representatives of all of the delegations. You should return to Admiral Tuvok.
We are almost ready to begin. Will you complete the final preparations for the conference while I speak to Captain Sean? After that, your assistance in encouraging everyone to take their seats would be appreciated.
I suppose we can begin.
Oh, yes, I will take my seat.
I was just going. Don't rush me.
It seems the time has come at last. Thank you for the reminder.
You can start the presentation from the control console.
The Undine represent a clear and present danger to not only the Federation, but also the Klingon Empire and Romulan Republic. The damage done here by a mere handful of ships is clear evidence for the need for cooperation.
With respect, Admiral, the Romulan Republic is quite capable of leading exploration and security measures here, just as we have led efforts to secure the Solanae sphere. My militia...
I find it interesting that the Federation suddenly has concerns about the Undine now. Where was the Federation when the Empire discovered Undine infiltrators in the Alpha Quadrant? Or is the Federation only interested now the Undine threatens something you want?
Given the exceptionally complicated nature of such...
Ambassador, given what we now know, that was a mistake. The Empire recognized the Undine threat years ago. We didn't.
You admit you are wrong?
The evidence provided by Admiral Tuvok and his team is sound.
Thank you, Captain Sean. However, dwelling on past mistakes will not solve the problems of the present.
Our fleet stands ready to protect both spheres from the Undine.
The Undine can wait. We have more important business to discuss. Who owns this sphere? I represent a consortium of businessmen on Ferenginar. We are prepared to invest significant venture capital into transforming this sphere into a vacation destination to rival Risa. I have a proposal of $500,000 of... What's that?
Tuvok to Voyager. Report.
A massive fleet of Undine vessels just appeared from a rift. They're setting a course for the gateway.
The Undine? What do they want?
Unknown. Drop to Lisette. Track their course.
Enterprise to Captain Sean. We're receiving a distress signal from Earth's space dock.
Sean to Federation fleet. Red alert. Prepare for immediate departure.
The Federation is our enemy, but the Undine attack like assassins in the night.
We will crush the Kamikuv!
A significant Undine force is headed for the Sol system. We must stop the Undine from breaching Earth's defenses. Species 8472 is already boarding Earth's space dock. Once we are through the gateway, we must render assistance as soon as possible. I am picking up several distress calls from across the system. Curious. There are fewer Undine vessels than we witnessed using the gateway. Negative. The subspace relay booster network appears to be offline. I am reading Undine ships attacking Earth space dock, as well as attacks on the lunar colonies and the orbital habitat on the far side of Earth.
Agreed. Enterprise will clear the area around the lunar colonies.
Fine. Jirok and I will clear the far side of the planet.
Enterprise will set course for Luna.
The Fortescue and Reset will lead the fight on the far side of Earth.
Earth's space dock is taking severe structural damage. Not hurry. Earth's space dock may be destroyed.
Range, there are Undine hunting parties on Earth space dock. We're fighting them, but comms are spotty. I was lucky to get an external signal working. We need any assistance you can spare. There are Undine ships attacking key sites across the quadrant. Our ships are responding to everything they can, but we're stretched thin. When the Undine arrived here, they damaged every ship in the system, hit the orbital platforms, and then most of them just left. Automated defense systems are offline, and we're struggling just to keep control of the station.
I've received orders from New Romulus. In light of this situation, the Lisette is being recalled to defend the homeworld. I will contact you if there is any change.
The boarding parties on Earth space dock should be our main concern. The Undine will be attempting to cripple Starfleet operations, gain valuable data, and capture ranking officers. We cannot afford to allow them to succeed. I am prepared to beam down immediately. Your assistance will greatly improve our chances of success. Earth's space dock has sustained severe damage from multiple Undine boarding parties. We must locate Admiral Quinn. The most expedient path to the Admiral's office is through those doors. Our mission objectives are clear. We must ascertain the whereabouts of Admiral Quinn and expel all Undine boarders. Teams from other ships, including some Klingon and Romulan vessels, have beamed to lower decks here on the station. While their willingness to assist us is unexpected, their desire to see this enemy stopped is gratifying.
Everything hurts. What? Who? Admiral Tuvok. I don't... What? The windows. They came through the windows, walking on the hull. I don't know. After the Klingon and Borg attacks during my cadet cruise, I thought working at Earth space dock would be less... traumatic.
Indeed. I can initiate a mind meld. It will calm him, and I will be able to learn what he knows about the attack. This is not normally something I would suggest, but I believe that in this instance it is necessary. My mind to your mind. My thoughts to your thoughts.
I'm feeling better now. Thank you. The Undine, yes. They just appeared in close orbit. We were taken by surprise and none of the defense systems worked. I don't know why. They've been killing people. I don't know what they want, but they've been systematic about their attacks. They want something.
There is more going on with these boarding parties than mere phaser fire. There are more Starfleet officers fighting nearby. We need to manually activate the fire suppression systems.
I thought Earth's space dock would be acquired assignments.
Be cautious. There are more Undine nearby.
Admiral Tuvok, I'm gonna help hold this position. I'm not much of a soldier, but I can make repairs and help keep this area clear of Undine. I hope Admiral Quinn is okay. He was on comms a few minutes ago, but the transmission was cut off.
Be cautious. There are more Undine nearby.
I'll stay here. Good luck.
Damage is extensive, but we will rebuild. First, however, we must drive species 8472 back to fluidic space. The damage is extensive, but we will rebuild. First, however, we must drive species 8472 back to fluidic space. Admiral Quinn. The shape-shifting nature of species 8472 makes them a dangerous foe. We will have to proceed with caution to avoid being caught unaware again. Clearly, Admiral Quinn is not here. He may be still alive elsewhere on the station. The logical course of action amid so much chaos will be to re-establish the chain of command. Perhaps we can establish more reliable communications by directly linking to the Starbase's internal systems. The consoles here can be used for that purpose. Make the attempt. I will keep watch for more Undine. I will cover you.
One moment. This is Admiral Quinn.
Admiral, what is your status?
I'm pinned down in my office with Egan. We've been trying to get internal comms and sensors working. What's your status?
The Undine boarding parties appear to have some goal in mind, but we are unsure as to what it might be. Admiral, I suggest you hold your position. We will make our way to you. Stay alert for more imposters. There are still more Undine on the station. I can feel their anger. The way is blocked. There may be an alternate route on the upper deck. Admiral Quinn and Commander Egan are below. The Admiral appears to require medical treatment. It is agreeable to see you, Admiral.
Thank you. Now, maybe we should... Commander Egan! Egg? Where are you going?
One moment, Admiral.
Intriguing. The amount of resistance Starfleet has offered is unexpected. That being said,
the weak will perish.
He is tapping into the bioship's power matrix.
Egan was an Undine? That would explain what happened to our defense grid. He would have known they were coming, and had ample opportunity to sabotage us. Damn, I didn't see that coming. Egan. It's hard to believe. He attacked me mentally, led everyone into a trap. I couldn't stop him. We have much to consider. There may be... Tuvok! What's going on? Tuvok! Can you hear me? Tuvok!
Tuvok! Hello, Tuvok. Egan was too weak. He spent too much time among humans. He served his purpose, and you will be far too late.
Too late for what?
Your quadrant will fall. The weak will perish. This dimension will be cleansed, purified of infestation. Your efforts are meaningless. I know your thoughts, Tuvok.
Indeed, Doctor. But I have taken advantage of this connection to look into your mind as well.
What?
I understand now what your plans are. You will not succeed.
You can't stop us. Tuvok! Tuvok!
Admiral Tuvok! Admiral!
Diversion. This was all a diversion.
What do you mean?
Kronos. Their real target is Kronos. Come. Kronos may not have much time. The Federation and the Empire have been at war for far too long. Now we must join together for the common good. We have arrived in the Kronos system. At this time, the ruins of Praxis are concealing our arrival from the Undine. The Klingon homeworld defense fleet has engaged the bulk of the Undine forces, but they appear to be taking heavy casualties.
Just 2 Federation ships? 2? Where is the Enterprise? Where's the rest of your fleet? I knew better than to trust Starfleet. You run when you should fight.
The Romulans have promised additional aid, as has Starfleet Command. The Enterprise is contacting all available ships, and
Words are meaningless. Deeds show the true heart of a warrior. Join me if you are not as cowardly as the rest of the Federation. Today is a good day to die.
To its allies. We are here to honor them.
Are you afraid?
Target's
Vulcan.
shields have failed.
think of it as an increase in your opportunities to die with honor.
Not exactly. We brought our friends.
is that thing?
The Undine have brought a large craft through a quantum singularity.
They're powering up weapons!
The Undine have a new planet killer!
Target that ship, and fire all weapons!
No effect! They're too strong!
Voyager has one nanite torpedo remaining from her time in the Delta Quadrant. Such devices proved effective against the Undine in the past. Tactical. Fire when ready.
They took some damage, but the planet killer can still fire. I can get the Aquarius into firing position above her and exploit the opening in her shields, but someone will need to keep the Undine distracted.
Sean's attacking! Sacrifice his ship!
Weapons are offline. This is our only chance. Setting the Aquarius on a collision course.
Acknowledged. Do we have Sean's coordinates?
Getting locked now, sir. He did it, sir! The planet killer has been destroyed.
Tuvok to Allied fleet. Stand down. The Undine are retreating. Captain Sean.
Transporter room! Did you get him?
We have...
Captain Sean to Admiral Tuvok. Permission to come aboard?
The Klingon High Council wishes to discuss the most recent developments. We have been invited to transport directly to the High Council chambers. There are many here who have seen the danger Species 8472 presents with their own eyes for the first time. Thank you for your assistance in protecting both Earth and Kronos from the Undine. However terrible, this battle did have one benefit. Today's fight opened the door to what may be a lasting peace between the Federation and the Empire. Now we must have the courage to compromise for the greater good. In its way, that can be more difficult than waging war. The formalities will begin soon. Until then, I must take the time to speak to others who were instrumental in the success of this mission.
That was a close one, but I'm fortunate Voyager transported me off the ship at the last second. It would have been a worthy sacrifice. Kronos is too important to lose.
I served in Starfleet, and now I serve the Empire. There are many on both sides of the current conflict for whom I have deep respect. I see this as an opportunity. We may find we have more in common than we realize.
You have shown your true nature today. Worf was correct. There is honor in the Federation. The conflict between us has gone on long enough. Now we should turn our blades toward the real enemy.
Our people come from a culture of deception and division. We've rejected our past in favor of open alliances. Perhaps it's time for the Federation and the Empire to set aside their past as well. We would welcome a ceasefire between our allies.
Earth and Kronos are safe, and the Romulan Republic is pleased to assist its allies. I just wish my father could see all of us working together toward a common goal. This is the future he dreamed of.
The 5 races of the Zindi once tried to exterminate humanity. But through the efforts of a few people who were willing to change, we put aside our weapons and worked through our differences. Now, we are members of the Federation. Peace came with great difficulty, but that is the way of most things worth having. The Undine are here. They're spreading lies and dividing us from within. Now, more than ever, we need to set aside our animosities and work together for the greater good.
My people have respected the Federation ever since our first encounter with your famed Captain Kirk. I have advised Chancellor Jimpok that the Gorns support the idea of a ceasefire. Perhaps this will lead to greater freedom for all of us.
A true peace may not be on the table yet, but I hope we can at least broker a lasting armistice. But first, we celebrate today. Earth and Kronos are safe.
You fought well for someone from Starfleet. Many fine warriors have earned their places in Stovacor today. They died with honor, fighting one of our most formidable enemies. The Undine brought the battle to our very threshold. The fine warriors standing before me pushed them back. Let us honor our sacrifices and our accomplishments by ending...
Of the Milky Way. You have come further than we expected. But still you chase our shadows.
We are not here to impress you, demon! We stand united, and there is no one who can...
We give you a single warning to not attract our attention again.
That was the reason we need to work together. It's time for our feud to end.
Agreed. From this day forward, all hostilities between the Empire and the Federation will cease.
The Iconians use servitor races and other species to do their fighting for them. Species 8472 has been an unknowing catspaw of the Iconians for some time. This time, however, the Undine were defeated, and it was our combined strength that allowed us to prevail. Thousands of years ago, the Iconians were defeated by an alliance of races. I predict their ultimate aim has been to prevent such an alliance from happening again. There have been periods in our combined history when the Federation and the Empire have not been at war, but they have not been allies either. This may be the beginning of such a time. It will be up to us to determine what happens next. With time, we may even restore the alliance that came out of the Khitomer Accords. Voyager will return to the Delta Quadrant. There is much to do there, and the Jenolan Sphere will need to be protected from further Undine assaults. I am sure I will see you again. You have been a worthy ally, and your wisdom and courage will be called upon in the days ahead. Until then, live long and prosper.
Congratulations, Captain.
Admiral Tuvok has requested that you meet Voyager in the Solaran system. I believe he requires your assistance with a personal issue. While you're there, you should be able to get a briefing on the current state of the Delta Quadrant. Hello. Would you have time?
Greetings. Admiral Tuvok is waiting for you in the conference room. Welcome aboard. If you'll come with me, I'll take you to Admiral Tuvok. He wants to see you right away. What would you like to know? The Admiral is trying to track down Dr. Cooper. He thinks that Cooper is the key to this conflict with the Undine. He hasn't explained why yet, but he says that your assistance is crucial. What would you like to know? Unstable, but not totally out of control. The Borg have suffered setbacks on multiple fronts. They're being pressed hard by the Voth, the Undine, and various liberated elements. The Voth are mostly bottled up in their home space and in the Solanae Dyson sphere. We've established some connections with a few of the locals, such as the Kobali and the Talaxians. Of course, there are still troublemakers out here. The Kazon, the Hirogen, the Malon, and there's a new power player we're very concerned about. Whoever they are, they're picking off systems left and right. Even the Krenim weren't a match for them. We need to find out who they are and what they want. What would you like to know? Voyager spent 7 years in the Delta Quadrant, and during that time many of her systems were optimized to deal with the hazards out here. This old girl's still got a few tricks. Besides, Admiral Tuvok specifically brought Voyager out for this mission. And what the Admiral wants, the Admiral gets. What would you like to know? This way, please. Sorry we don't have time for a tour, but the Admiral insists he needs to speak with you right away. Admiral is waiting for you in the ready room.
Greetings. Thank you for coming so promptly. We do not have much time, and I require your assistance. I am still under telepathic assault by the Undine we know as Cooper. He has found some means to greatly increase his psionic power, and I cannot withstand his assault indefinitely. I will need your help to repel Cooper's attack and counter him. What else do you need to know? I have been able to deflect Cooper's attacks thus far, but I require assistance to repel him and gain any useful information. I propose initiating a Vulcan mind meld through which you will be able to enter my mind and aid me against Cooper. What else do you need to know? Your prior experiences with Cooper should allow your subconscious mind to hone in on him. An outsider who has never encountered him before would have no such connection and could never hope to find him. What else do you need to know? My mind to your mind. Your thoughts to my thoughts.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? First, I need to make sure you're not contagious or suffering from any injuries. This will only take a moment. Don't be difficult. I'm only doing my job. Engineers and captains, always in a hurry to get out of sickbay. You're not going anywhere. Doctor's orders.
Enemy targets on sensors. Shield losing power.
Can you hear me? Come speak to me at the desk terminal. The mind meld was successful. Excellent. I am currently trapped in the ready room. For the moment, I will only be able to communicate with you remotely. Cooper is working to subvert my mental defenses, and I must focus my concentration on keeping my mind intact. No. Cooper is trying to erode my emotional control. Symbolically, this means that he must destroy Voyager. To do so, he is attempting to overload the warp core. You must proceed to engineering to stop Cooper from destabilizing the warp core. If he is successful, he will have broken down my mental control systems. Once the core and my mind are protected from Cooper's attacks, then we can take control of this mindscape. Take the pad from the doctor's office. I will use it to communicate with you as you proceed. Remember, objects have symbolic significance in this mindscape. As an outsider in my mind, your ability to communicate with me directly is limited. Your communicator is part of your mind, and so it cannot interact with me directly while Cooper tries to keep us separated. The pad is part of my mind, so I can use it to bridge the gap between us. The mind meld was successful. No. Good. Now we will be able to remain in contact. Proceed to engineering. Cooper is attempting to subvert my mental defenses by replacing my memories with engrams from his bioship. Until he is expelled, these kinds of incursions will continue. You may see strange items or distortions in your surroundings. Ignore them and proceed as best you can. Remember Kiri Kintha's first law of metaphysics. Nothing unreal exists. Cooper is trying to overload the warp core. You must keep it stable. The mindscape is a simulacrum. Cooper may move elements to suit his needs, or try to stop you. Certain areas may be blocked or damaged, or even transformed. Do your best to reach your destination. Cooper cannot simultaneously attack an area and conceal it.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? This area is very dangerous. The core is unstable. B'Elanna, I don't know. She should be here, but as far as I can tell, everything on Voyager's about to fall apart, and I'm the only one here. Stay back. I'm going to put a force field around the core while I try to stabilize it. It won't contain a core breach, but it might block some of the radiation if the magnetic stabilize. I've almost got this. Just keep back. It will only take a few more minutes. You are stupid, aren't you? Only people the Vulcan melded with should be here. Not everyone on Voyager is part of Tuvok's warped little subconscious. Some of us are far more exceptional. I'll destroy you, and Tuvok's mind with you.
Has raised the defenses to protect himself. Use one of the engineering consoles to press your attack. Has raised the defenses to protect himself. Use one of the engineering consoles to press your attack. My mental defense is stabilized. We should have additional time to fend off Cooper's intrusion. Head to the crew decks. Inside of my memories exist fragments of personalities from any person with whom I have previously experienced a mind meld. You may be able to find someone whose personality is not wholly part of my mind, and thus not susceptible to Cooper's influence. Move through the crew decks to your right. You may be able to find a fragment of a personality who can help. People with whom I have previously melded have left impressions of their Katras in my mind. You may be able to convince one to assist you. Because they are not technically me, Cooper's ability to subvert them may be limited.
What am I doing here? Who are you? I require specifics. Answer me. no reason to trust you, but this seems familiar somehow. Why am I in the crew quarters? I should be in my regeneration alcove.
Seven, you are currently experiencing an engrammatic regress as a result of a Vulcan mind meld. You must assist me in reasserting control over the meld. I am currently locked in the ready room next to the bridge. Exercise caution as species 8472 has subverted the vessel.
That is Borg technology. But the presence of the Collective will not dissuade us. Assimilation is irrelevant. Of the unconscious fears of species 8472.
Oh, you're here. Let's just get this over with.
I will secure the bridge while you release Tuvok.
With Cooper defeated, he should no longer be able to maintain the telepathic link with my mind, for the time being. We must end the mind meld and consider our next course of action. Now that we have removed Cooper's influence, it is time to break the link between he and myself. With Cooper's attack temporarily halted, we are in a position to slow the advance of his Undine forces. Please accompany me to the bridge. We still do not have a fix on Cooper's whereabouts. I will contact Starfleet for any current information about Undine movements. Use the sensors to check for their quantum signatures. Voyager's sensor array is currently calibrated for tracking Undine movements, so you should be able to garner results quickly. should return to your ship. While I am somewhat fatigued as a result of the mind meld, I believe that I can continue in my duties on Voyager while we plan our next steps. We must still be in the meld. Cooper is trying to deceive us. He needs to break the link cleanly, but lacks the strength to confront us directly.
You don't belong here.
We should use the link to our advantage. If we can track Cooper through the link, we can then pursue him in the physical realm. Since the mindscape deals in symbolic representations, we need a map to his location. We should proceed to astrometrics. Cooper is trying to block your progress. Look for another path. In 2375, Voyager encountered a malfunctioning Borg vinculum that had been turned into a trap by species 6339. This vinculum caused other personalities from the collective to surface in 7 of 9. I entered a mind meld with her in an attempt to stabilize her personality. These people are echoes of the personalities of people assimilated by the Borg. They are not truly aware, knowing only that they desire to escape. It may be helpful to think of them as ghosts. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Cooper is attempting to distort your path again. Keep searching. I sense we are making progress. Keep searching. There. We have him. Cooper has broken the link. The melt can end. This ordeal has taxed me mentally, but I must continue the mission. I have learned that Cooper is in fluidic space, in an area that corresponds to the location known in our dimension as the Northwest Passage. We must travel there and enter fluidic space to confront Cooper once more. He is aboard a special command bioship that he cannot abandon. If we catch him in fluidic space, we can force a final confrontation. Please join me on the bridge. I must focus my concentration on regaining my strength. I need you to enter our destination coordinates and make certain that there are no more surprises.
Voyager will join you in the Northwest Passage. We'll leave as soon as you've returned to your ship. We need to hurry if we want to catch Cooper.
This area of space was labeled by Commander Chakotay as the Northwest Passage. It is a corridor of space that the Borg avoid because of the high incidence of quantum singularities, which the Undine use as points of transit. Voyager encountered the passage in 2373, and Captain Janeway chose to use it to travel through Borg space. This precipitated our first contact with species 8472. We must locate a quantum singularity that will lead us into the correct area of fluidic space. My suspicion is that Cooper is using this region as a staging ground for the massed Undine fleet, and his command bioship will be there as well. Approach each singularity and check its quantum wave signature. When we find the correct one, we will pass through. This passage will work. Quickly, we must go through the portal. We need to reach Cooper's command bioship. According to my scans, he is using a modified dreadnought as a control vessel. Intriguing. Cooper's bioship appears to have nerve clusters, gyri, and structures typically associated with brain matter. While most bioships are organic, they are not aware. Rather, they are biological tissue operated by the Undine as tools. Cooper's vessel is different. It is possible that the ship is self-aware. This would explain the increase in Cooper's telepathic abilities. Not only is his command bioship able to coordinate the entire Undine fleet, acting as a brain for the other ships, but it also amplifies his psionic power. We must gain access to the ship directly. We will need to temporarily disable its shielding mantle, so we can fire upon vulnerable sections to disable it.
You've come a long way, but as you can see, I am not unprepared for your arrival. This command bioship is unique. It is capable of coordinating an entire fleet of bioships. A fleet that will launch from the structure you see here. Even if you attack me, I suspect you will find the sheer power of my new fleet to be overwhelming.
Bioship is weakened. We must beam aboard and locate Cooper while it is possible. We are close to Cooper's position, but the bioship is blocking transport in the area closest to the central nexus. We must find control nodes that will allow us to enter the nexus. As the ship is organic, we may be able to force it open by sending impulses through certain nerve endings, thereby causing a reflex reaction, much like a sneeze. muscles controlling this passage will not release. We will need to find control ganglia we can use to trigger a reflex response and open the door. Cooper should be in the chamber just beyond this door. An intriguing notion. I shall make the attempt. You must protect me from Cooper and his soldiers while I concentrate on the mind meld. When you are ready, we shall proceed. The ship is resisting the meld. I must move to another neural cluster. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. You must protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate. The ship is resisting the meld. I must move to another neural cluster. Protect me from Undine attacks while I concentrate.
What is happening? You did this!
My mind to your mind.
Communication link established.
Your thoughts to mine.
Why should we listen to the weak?
You will perish when the Iconians complete their purge. To the Iconians, you are weak.
We must survive.
When we fight one another, we are weak. United, we are strong.
No! Don't listen to him!
We must see to our needs.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
The many must survive.
We don't need them!
The many will be strong. The strong will survive.
They are weak. I will save us! What? No!
The Bio-Dreadnought has no intention of entering our space. Now we must return to our ships before the Undine retreat to their own fortresses in fluidic space. The Bio-Dreadnought. There are no signs of Undine pursuit. Whatever the intent of the remaining Undine forces, it seems that they do not involve our dimension. As a Vulcan, I am not given to personal displays. Nonetheless, we have shared a deep connection. We will always carry a part of this experience with us. In a sense, you have become a portion of my mental defenses. Part of the ship and crew that define the most challenging aspects of my existence. Our shared effort has prevented another Undine invasion, and incidentally allowed me to retain my sanity. Your contributions are appreciated. I must advise Starfleet Command of these developments. I am sure we will speak again. Until then, I am confident that events in the Delta Quadrant are in capable hands. Live long and prosper.
With Cooper gone, the Undine won't have a leader pushing them toward war with our forces. I wonder why he was so set on this conflict. We still don't know exactly how long Cooper had been replaced by an Undine, or if the original Cooper is still alive. Perhaps this Undine saw something during his time among us that convinced him that the only way to secure the safety of his people was to destroy ours. It wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Remember the Xindi attack on Earth in the 22nd century? They were told by the Sphere Builders that they had to destroy Earth to save themselves. It turned out that Sphere Builders were using the Xindi as a tool in their own destructive plans. We know the Iconians have manipulated the Undine. Maybe they were the ones pushing Cooper to attack. Hello?
Congratulations.
Would you have time to look into something? Our first task in the Delta Quadrant is a familiar one, helping a species to find a new home. A group of Talaxians living in the Entaba system are ready to move to a new homeworld nearby. Admiral Tuvok and Voyager have gone ahead to their main asteroid base to begin the preparations for the transition. The Admiral's requested your presence as well. You two work well together. I recommend you take advantage of his expertise. There's no one who knows more about the Delta Quadrant than he does. Hello. Would you have...